We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
Hey team, it's Ripper here. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Got the gearing for you right now, and man, is it still a beautiful ship to play and to look at, and it's one of the first destroyer ships that I ever got in this game, and let's talk about it. But before we begin, thank you guys for getting this channel to where it's at right now. Couldn't thank you guys enough. We passed 1,000 and are on our way to 1,100, and it's growing like a wildfire, and I'm shocked and impressed at how fast we've grown, and just the fun that we've had growing the community and having a blast learning about sailing ships, shooting ships, and just having great conversations about what we can do to get better. So let's get right into it. The gearing, the OG, I would say. We just did a video on the Haragumo. Check that out. But I would say the gearing and the Haragumo are really up there as one of the OG destroyers, including the Shimakaze out there. I really don't play Shimakaze as much. Maybe I should do a video about that. But the gearing is really the oldie but goldie, old school style, really just a standard destroyer. I don't know what else to say, but man, it is just very, very basic. It doesn't have any gimmicks. It's just really just a simple destroyer, guns, smoke, and torpedoes, and it's really based on players' skill, I believe. But you really don't see that many gearings out there anymore, and I can understand why with the way the meta is nowadays. It's really just there's so much the plethora of radar, the gunboats, the high HP pools, the super ships. It really just, I don't know. It doesn't have a place anymore as I can see, but let's try it out. Let's play in the submarines. Like, oh, here we go. A submarine right now. And I elect not to fire right there. Why did I elect not to fire there? Because why? Oh, we get a torpedo hit right there. The reason why I didn't fire is because if I do shoot, my gun's range is around 11, so that means someone that's within 11 kilometers of my gun range will spot me continuously while they get free shots at me, and I have nothing I can do about it, and the submarine just kind of disappeared, kind of a hit-and-run tactic. And so that's why I elected not to shoot. So I recommend, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just doing figure eights and loitering, and try taking a scope of the battlefield of where is everybody's at, and kind of gauging where is my service needed, and be patient about a lot of that, because I find that people rushing into the battle right away, really just throwing their ship away, does not help the team. And you're really there as a destroyer. Really, you're the multi-role fighter. You're supposed to do everything and survive, and you don't have much HP to deal with. So really, I recommend destroyer players, and if you're going to become a DD gunboat main like me, really take the time to be, you're the scout, you're the force recon that's supposed to be out there ahead of the main column, the pack, to really be the eyes and ears for the rest of the team, as well as provide a substantial threat to the adversary, so that you can be some kind of a force to deal with. So let's talk about here's the gunboat action. Let's see if the gearing can still shoot gunboat. Now this is a tier 9 Benson, not a fair match, I would say, but hey, you know what, let's take advantage of it. We're shooting, we got secondaries firing at them from another ship, so, and just look, we got a full gunboat reload build right here, so we got maximum DPM the best we can. The gun reload is really decent, it's still good for the gearing of what it can do, and boom, splash 1 RIP back to Porty. He goes down. That's our first kill of the day, and you see that's exactly what we're designed to do. We're really there to be a threat to other destroyers, not to let them have free reign, hunt them down when necessary, and we provide that really quick gun power, and then we hit and run, get out of there, regroup, reassess. So we're going to go cheat away, kite away because of torpedoes inbound. We're going to reattack, turn back towards the enemy, and launch torpedoes ourselves. So you saw how the power of the guns are. They're very standard, 127 millimeter standard guns. They're kind of like secondary guns on a U.S. battleship. They just they get the job done where it's needed. But again, we can't just sit there and duke it out gunboat because their HP pool is not there and we don't have heals. So as a gunboat DD main, I don't really think a gearing is really all that great for gunboating. It's really there to be a threat and just kind of push someone off if you need to and just run away. So the bread and butter, I would say, the gearing is the concealment and really the torpedoes. So we have 5.9 concealment, which means we have great spotting abilities, great gunboat action if we do need it, and spotting the other DDs. But the bread and butter really is the torpedoes. They pack a punch. The range is 16.5, which is godly great for range and hitting people way in the back there. Notice my torpedoes are still going in the back, way off in the distance, and that's exactly what they're designed to do. They pack a punch still. They're pretty powerful still if they do hit you. They're not the fastest. I mean, I find that wargaming, I guess you could say power crept the type of torpedoes we have nowadays because they just don't go as fast as, say, like Holland torpedoes, 90 knots, but they do get the job done. They're whatchamacallit, their concealment, if you will, or what is the spotting range of torpedoes is still decent. It's not the greatest. I'd say the black torpedoes are still like 0.8 or 0.9, while gearings are about 1.5 or 6-ish, I'd say. I forgot the actual specific numbers, but you get enough time to dodge gearing torpedoes if you see them. So really, I think that the gearing does have a good reload if you build for it, but the torpedoes are kind of just long-range standard torpedoes. That's the best I could do to describe them. Still effective, just not the greatest. There are better ones out there. The sister ship to the gearing is the Yoyang. I've done tons of videos on the Yoyang, and really, I think the Yoyang is superior because why? The Yoyang has radar. It has a gimmick. You know, really, the gearing, what's the gimmick? You're seeing it right here. Us shooting a Ohio trying to get out of Dodge, and really with no support, the Ohio has nowhere to go but just gets HE spam. And this is all we can do. We can just shoot the superstructure, fire our guns, stay in the smoke, stay out of trouble, and that's it. That's all we can do. Again, we're still reloading on the torpedoes. Now, if I had built the torpedoes for maximum reload, you could get these things down to maybe almost like a minute reload, I believe. Decent enough if that's what you want to do. But I like to do a gunboat build because I find that you use guns way more. But yeah, again, it depends on how you want to build a gearing. You have the option of a torpedo build or a gun build. You're seeing the effectiveness of a gunboat build right now. It really is just a simple destroyer. I don't know what else to say, but really that is all you can really do. We did what we did right there. We long duration smoke. You notice like you can pop smoke, spread the smoke all over the place. Gearing's good for that. American destroyers are really good for that. But really, sitting in smoke nowadays is kind of a thing of the past, especially with the invention of the radar. Radar will definitely destroy a gearing, and really now with the hydro and small radars on the small destroyers, you can't just sit and smoke like you used to. It is a magnet for other torpedoes as well. So the gearing really is a good spotting ship, a good basic rail-rounded for kind of like a beginner destroyer. I recommend that if you want to just first start out in a DD role, get the gearing. It's there to be a very well-rounded destroyer as a basic trainer. And then you start moving yourself up to other gimmicky destroyers. But this is really no gimmicks. It's just a basic, simple destroyer. You see, we can start fires. We can shoot. It's not good against submarines. As you can see, I cannot hunt submarines down as well as some other ones. The depth charges, you got to literally drive over. And I find that that's probably the best solution is don't even attack submarines because unless you're the last one, the submarine's by itself and has no support. Driving over a submarine is so dangerous these days with radar and hydro and airplanes, and you know it's just too much risking your neck for a little gain. And so you can see the torpedoes, they're shooting pretty out in the distance, really awesome. That's all you can really do. And this is Airship Escort, by the way, so I'm going to try it more in random to see if gearing is still good in that role. But in the airship role, it's very, very good. So we're going to charge let's see, our Holland right here. Oh, sorry, this is another gearing. And yep, the gearing dies right there. So again, the gearing is with little to no support, it's pretty weak. The gearing, if I go head on, that's exactly how you handle it right there. You just go nose in straight on. You got two forward-facing guns, which is good, and there's nothing more you can do. The gearing cannot survive long-term because it doesn't have heals. The only thing it's got going for it is long-range torpedoes, smoke to get out of dodge, or provide big walls for your rest of your team. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, the gearing, I still think it's fun if you play it very conservatively. For you to rush in, just like you saw the gear right there, to rush in and try to attack, it just doesn't have enough gimmicks for it to kind of warn off any other substantial threats. For example, radar and CVs. The AA has been nerfed so much, it can't really defend against AA guns other than, or I'm sorry, AA threats other than just pop and smoke and sit in the smoke. But again, that leaves you open for torps. Yeah, smoke is a torp magnet, like I've always said. So let's round up what I think about the gearing these days. Now, they did a revamp of the model of the gearing. It looks a little bit better, sleeker, more modernized. It used to be very low in the water, but honestly, I recommend the Yoyang. The Yoyang sits way lower in the water. It's very difficult to hit. It can dodge shots better now because the gearing kind of sits a little high off the water. The torpedoes, they're good because they're long range, 16.5 kilometers, standard damage, standard kind of speeds. The guns, HE is still HE spam, just like a secondary battleship. Really, AP is really non-existent. I really don't use AP at all on the gearing. Let's see what else. Smoke. The only other gimmick it has is the either engine boost or the defensive AA. Defensive AA is worthless. Guns don't work as well. Like I said, AA has been nerfed, and the engine boost is really just there to get you moving faster and get out of dodge if you need to. But you can see, really, this is all the gearing really does. It's a very good, kind of like Shimakaze style, but with better guns. It really is a good scout ship, a force recon out front, leading the charge, a very good leader, destroyer. But if you want to put effective damage downrange, I don't know. I don't really recommend the gearing as much anymore because it is very difficult to keep alive. As you can see, my counterpart gearing just doesn't have enough HP to survive, but it's still a beautiful ship. I think the gearing is one of the first OGs that you should definitely get to start out and to learn. But look at that. It's just very beautiful. It's a very standard U.S. destroyer look. But hope you guys are doing well. Let me know your thoughts about the gearing. Do you still think it's relevant? Do you still think it's playable? Or is it just kind of been power crapped and kind of left out to dry? But hope you guys are doing well. Like, subscribe, bell button. Love you like the videos we're doing here. The next videos we're going to do is some more reviews of some OG style destroyers. But until then, you guys stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.